If there's one Warframe that makes you feel like an absolute boss while barely breaking a sweat, it's Revenant, and it's all thanks to Mesmer Skin and its ridiculously strong augment, Mesmer Shield. This combo doesn't just keep you alive, it turns you into a walking tank that stuns everything, soaks up damage like it's nothing, and just keeps going like a glow-in-the-dark juggernaut. So, let's start with Mesmer Skin. At first glance, it gives you a set number of charges that absorb hits. Pretty standard, right? Nope. Here's the twist. Not only do you take 0 damage while those charges are active, but any enemy that hits you gets stunned on the spot. It's like saying, "Hit me, I dare you," and then watching them freeze mid-swing like they just realized they made a huge mistake. And the best part? You can recast Mesmer Skin whenever it's off cooldown. So as long as you're paying attention, you can stay basically untouchable forever. Now, when Digital Extremes released the Mesmer Shield Augment, the community has varied reactions. Some of the Warframe players think that the Band-Aid mod is mediocre, while some thinks that it's too powerful. In my honest opinion, I think it's a huge improvement to Revenant. And this is what makes the Warframe super good in team composition, and why a lot of players prefer to play with Revenant in the game. While the extra power strength boost for Mesmer Skin is not that important, and the ability to give 5 Mesmer Skin charges to all teammates within affinity range is better. Okay, let me explain the details through showing my current build for Revenant. For this Warframe, I choose to create a weapon platform focused on survivability and buffing build. While there are specific builds for Enthrall, Reeve, or even Revenant's 4th skill, I choose to focus on his Mesmer Skin ability and subsume Roar in the 4th skill slot of Revenant. Now, there's the option to go with Eclipse, but I will need to also equip the Total Eclipse Augment for the build if I want my teammates to benefit from the weapon damage buff. In the case of Roar, I don't need to put anything, as the range is also decent enough so that my whole team can benefit from the damage buff. In addition, Roar doesn't just boost the weapon damage, but also abilities of Warframes, making Revenant a universal support with this build. The best part about this is that I can just focus on building my Revenant with maximum power strength investment to get lots of Mesmer Skin charges and bonus buff from the Roar ability. In terms of Arcane, I choose to have Energize so I can cast my abilities whenever it's needed by the team. To make it better, I am close to finishing my Archon Shard setup also for this Warframe. I choose to give him more power strength to Red Tau Forged Archon Shards, and when I have the full setup, the damage increase from Roar will definitely go higher. Finally, depending on your setup, you can push the power strength buff with Molt Augmented on this Arcane slot. But I'm using Arcane Velocity right now, since I am pairing this Revenant build with the Incarnon Dual Toxicist. With this kind of build, Revenant is immortal and can buff the damage of the whole team. Not to mention that he can also give Mesmer charges, and while 5 charges may seem low, but in real mission, it's actually super helpful as Arcane Energize, plus Xenuric's Wellspring, allows me to have full energy most of the time to recast Mesmer Skin and reward my team. The Warframe is great, especially in late-game missions such as Temporal and Deep Archimedia. But just remember that there are instances that enemies like the Fragmented Boss will disable your Warframe abilities. It will remove your Mesmer charges, so that is why I also added Rolling Guard in my build for that 3-second invulnerability. Also, when I'm facing such enemies, I make sure that I also have some Overguard from the secondary fortifier equipped on my Incarnon Dual Toxicist. With this kind of setup, I have no reason to go down in mission, and I have every reason to support my team and make the mission easier. Now, I would like to show you how good Revenant is by sharing you my Elite Deep Archimedia run with a team. Just forgive me for the wrong element that you'll see in your screen. I'm facing Murmur enemies, and I should not be using Gas Element. I forgot to replace my mod setup in my Dual Toxicist before running the Elite Deep Archimedia, but still, I can deal decent damage against the Murmur faction. Also, you might wonder sometimes about the hit register having delays. It's not the game, but my internet connection being slow again. I just want to show you how chill a game is when you have warframes like Revenant and Dante taking care of the survivability.
Chalk me up another one.
synergies.